Pretty ready?
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty ready.
Okay.
Do you feel ready?
Feel ready.
In a way. Okay. I'm going to pull up the notes, and those look good, and I need to hit record, and then I need to... What am I missing? Don't need Twitter open.
You know what's weird is now you're on Twitch.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 chat rooms.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Although the Twitch one is much less active, even though there's
some in there.
The same number of people in there.
Yeah. Yeah. We like the IRC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm hearing myself. Why? Hello. Me. Bah. Do you hear that?
I hear you one time. Just the one time.
That's weird. Hello. Testing. Testing.
Times.
Testing. Bah. That's weird. It just started. Hold on. I don't know what that was. I still don't know. Oh. No? Now. Bah. Okay, now it's... bah. Okay, that's better. Okay, well, here
Weirdest
we go.
way to test the mic ever.
Yeah, it was pretty strange.
Bah.
I'm with you there. Bah.
I
Okay.
mean, I get why you're trying to do a short sound that you'd hear the echo.
Yeah, I'm trying to spike it, you know?
Yeah, bah. Yeah.
Most people test 1, 2, 3, and I go, bah.
Yeah. Testing, bah.
Testing, bah. All right, here we go. We are recording, and off we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
I need you. It.
You're listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How about the first word out of my mouth sounds wrong? How about that? That'd be great. That's a great way to start any podcast. It's the Instance, everybody. The World of Warcraft podcast, so you don't have to unless you want to, and that's fine. Go ahead. All the merrier. My name is Scott Johnson, and that's Dills. Hi, Dills.
Hi, Scott Johnson.
How's it going, man?
Still a little under the weather, but we're gonna push through.
Terpster's pushing something else through right now.
Oh no, yeah. He sounds like he's in worse condition than me.
He's
Although
a mess.
I have like a lingering thing right now. It's not even. There was a time, and that time was Monday, when I couldn't have recorded a podcast and didn't. I wasn't on the last Angry Chicken. So
yeah. Well,
luckily I'm able to make it for this.
The typical thing is that February is the month for people to get the most sick of the year. And
it's true. Everybody in my office is sick right now too. Yeah. It's not just me. Yeah, you
gotta stop licking everybody's cubicle and stuff.
I really need to stop doing that, but it's just so tasty, you know. San Francisco's like a scene from The Walking Dead right now. It's bad out there.
Yeah, it's real bad, especially in cities and stuff. So I hope everybody had a decent February and you didn't die on us. Sorry about no show last week. Things came up, stuff happened, and we weren't able to do one. But Terpster should be back next time. Should be feeling better soon.
I hope so.
That's what I hope. Yeah. So part of why we didn't have a show last week is I have been extremely swamped and busy with tons of stuff going on. Somehow, though, I'm playing a lot more Hawken than I am WoW right now. And I don't know what that means or what that says, other than I think Hawken's a pretty badass video game and is worth playing, and people should pick it up on Steam if you haven't yet. But I've been playing it since the initial beta rollout, like a year ago or something, and I've always really enjoyed it. And it couldn't be more different than WoW. It is straight up multiplayer,
like FPS type of thing.
Yeah, you're in big giant mechs that overheat and cool down and shoot missiles, and
you're a big monster.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's badass. It's really well done. I'm kind of a sucker for that whole motif, but it's kind of a throwback to sort of the Quake and Unreal days, and done in a really sweet modern looking Unreal Engine thing going on there. So I'm a huge fan of it, and every time I've wanted to play a game, I think to myself, why don't you work on that chamois, or why don't you put a little time in your freaking cloak quest, since you're trying to get that before the expansion. And then my brain goes, why don't you go get inside a mech and shoot dudes?
True.
So I haven't been able to sort of stop the tendency toward getting into Hawken instead of WoW. I don't know why. I think we all go through these periods, right, where something else will take you away. Sometimes it's another Blizzard game. We're about to get the Reaper of Souls freaking release. What?
Yeah, they actually already updated a bunch of stuff too.
I'm hearing good things about it too.
Yeah, have you logged into Diablo recently?
I haven't checked it. It was about a week and a half ago, and I haven't checked it since they supposedly put in a bunch of stuff. It sounds like they're doing kind of like they do with a WoW expansion, where they'll kind of pre-release a bunch of system.
Yeah, you're getting
stuff.
a bunch of stuff right now, and then you'll get the actual expansion, but it's kind of prepped now. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, you should log in.
I'm gonna check it out. Check it out today.
I didn't play too much, but I was the other day. I got on to Hearthstone for a moment and looked at my my BattleNet app, and every single one of my friends was in Diablo.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, so something's going on here.
Something happened.
I
in
hadn't
Diablo.
seen the uploader happen; it just happened.
Yeah.
So I swapped over real quick, and it's pretty cool.
A lot of chatter online about it too, so I need to get in there today and see what's going on. But I feel like a lot of it we may have already seen in the beta test for Reaper of Souls. So
That's
feel like
true. Yeah, I mean, anybody who's in the beta, it's not all like brand new stuff. But if you weren't, it is.
Yeah. So get in and try it. I do have an announcement to make, and so as much as I've missed rating this last week and some other things, I am excited to announce that Nerdtacular 2014 tickets are on sale right now. If you go to Nerdtacular.com and you check out the top post, it has all the info you need, at least that we know of so far. We'll be adding more to that as we go along, but actual tickets are available. They're going quicker than last year for whatever that's worth. I don't know why they're going so much. Well, they're, whatever. Every year they go quicker, so I shouldn't be surprised. But our big event in the beautiful Snowbird Resort here in Salt Lake City, Utah, will happen on the weekend of the 4th, just like last year. That's July 4th weekend. And very much looking forward to it, to seeing all of you there. Many of your favorite Frog Pants hosts and people will be there. I'll be there. I know Dills is planning on it. Garrett's planning on being there, which is great. I can't wait to see Garrett. Terpster is planning on it. It's early yet. We never say about Terpster until the last second because we don't know for sure. Yeah. Dude's in England after all, so it's a little tricky.
It's a little bit of a trek for him.
Yeah, but Randy will be there, and all my other co-hosts will be there. It's going to be rad, as always, as it ever is. So do go over there and get your tickets if you're planning on coming. That's nerdtacular.com. All the hotel info's there, the code to get a cheaper rate, all that stuff's there. So go check it out, nerdtacular.com. Now, I'm a little sad Terpster's not here because he met with BlizzDevs in France last weekend. So he went.
Was Patrick there?
He was. He got to hang out with Patrick. So Patrick was there handling PR and stuff, and Terpster went up there with some of the Augs guys to interview those guys. It's basically part of the Blizzard press tour of Europe, kind of pre Warlords of Draenor kind of press tour thing going on. And there's been a ton of coverage that came out of that, but I was really hoping to get his sort of on the ground take and what he learned personally and all that stuff. So hopefully next week he can fill us in on that.
Yeah, we'll pick his brain next week.
What have you been up to in the game or otherwise, other than being super sick?
Well, you have your FPS robot game. I have a Sky Golem now, so I'm good to go.
All right, you got your Sky Golem.
Good to go. Yep.
Good. Was it worth it?
Myself with all just elbow grease and spitting on my hands and making Sky Golem.
Good old fashioned American stick-to-itness. Are you entirely satisfied? Do you have buyer's remorse? Like, how do you feel?
No, it's hard to be unsatisfied with the Sky Golem. It's pretty sick. And the great thing about WoW now is that every single character I have has a Sky Golem. So
good point.
My level 40 dude is running around on a Sky Golem. It's pretty awesome.
That's great. I'm sure it looks good on you. I can't wait to see you in it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the thing so much, and it's one of those things where it took me like 60 days when it's supposed to take 30, but I don't log in every day, and I think I used to log in every day. I think it's a healthy place to be in my life where I don't log in every day. And, the fact is that every day I did log in, I was I just basically forced myself to do the whatever 20 minutes it took me to farm up the stuff I needed, and then swap around characters and make it all. In the end, it's like, it feels like, cool, I made this. This is mine. Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's really, really awesome. I mean, when it takes off, if you don't have flying yet and you just, jump with it, you get really cool, like he kind of pops into the air and hovers for a second.
Yeah.
It's a really, really awesome mount. So good job, Blizzard, on this one.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it like completely inaccessible. It's not that hard. It just takes some time. It's not. None of this stuff is that
it's
crazy.
time, but it isn't. I mean, it's a different kind of grind, right? It's not like it's not like a grind where I look at this giant pool of points I have to iron out until it hits 0 or until I hit a million.
It's like I didn't have to grind rep with somebody. You know, I didn't have to do any of that kind of weird stuff. I didn't have, you know, it was just here, do this little task every day. Mm-hmm. You'll eventually have this.
Sure.
So
keep working, and you got it. And I still have mine,
right? For something like that. So
I still have mine. I didn't earn it. I'm happy and guiltily enjoying mine as well. But I'll bet putting the elbow grease into it makes you appreciate it a bit more, probably.
Sure. Also, new PvP season is upon us.
Yeah, how you feeling about that?
That actually happened. Well, it's good because I have stuff to do with my honor again. Because I was at the point where basically I would just cap out on honor and then convert it to justice points, which I then also didn't have anything to do with. So it was kind of annoying that the only thing that mattered to me was you know, the conquest points. So it's nice to be able to actually do battlegrounds and feel like I'm getting something done, you know, because I really enjoy battlegrounds. It's like I like arena. I think arena is really fun, but arena is a little more intense, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like a BG is a little more relaxed, and I could just kind of like pop in and just do whatever I want. Like I can kind of mess around in them.
Yeah.
With an arena, it's like you got to be on top of your game. You know, it's like make sure you CC the healer, and then you got to CC the healer again, and then you got to kill the dude. You know, it's just so stressful. So
sure.
I've been doing a lot of battlegrounds, kind of getting my filling out all my 522 gear and starting to save up for the new, is it like 550 or something like that?
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Yeah. Big numbers.
New gear's out. Yeah. New gear's out. And and then we downed Thok, the big dinosaur.
Bastards.
And I got my 2-piece.
No way.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. I had to re-roll for it. It was like the first re-roll that didn't get me gold in a really long time.
Yeah.
So I re-rolled for it, got the head, so now I'm rocking that. The 4-piece bonus for hunters is so good though. I really want to get it, but I have a feeling by the time I actually get it, it's going to be like new expansion time.
Well, the way this works is there's like this unwritten deal where if I'm not there one night and you are, you'll get a bunch of gear.
Oh yeah, gear will drop. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next time I get in, I'll re-roll for gold all night, and then you'll get in the following week, and I'll have to be somewhere and can't play again, and then you'll get your 4 pieces, and then everyone's the winner, and except me. That's how that works.
That's how it works. Yeah, it's a good system.
Yeah, it's an unwritten rule, but a rule nonetheless.
It's a really nice system for me.
Sure, it's working out good for you. That's great.
But yeah, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit more. So I'm not, mid-tier DPS anymore. I'm starting to actually be like closer to the top 5 or whatever in our team for some fights, which feels good. But I really need to like actually pay attention and start tweaking some stuff. I haven't really done that in a while. Like sit there and min-max and figure it all out. You know, I've been kind of on autopilot mode.
Sure.
In raiding, so it's like, okay, I just go to the dude and I just, do all the stuff I need. I click a thing and it changes everything for me, and then I drink a potion, and I'm not really thinking about any of it. So I've decided to start tweaking my my rating spec a little bit. Kind of toying with some stuff. So
look out, Ro. You can't hide behind your green fire for much longer, buddy.
Well, it's Hunts the Wind is the one that I need to come for. He's got 6 DPS.
Yeah,
so
his is pretty sweet.
I'm on my way, buddy.
Yeah. I'll continue to just I'll paint by the numbers while Dills tweaks it out. It's fine.
He's Hunts the Wind. I'm Hunts the Wind. So
HHTW, baby. That sounds good to me. All right. Well, there you have it. That's what we've been doing in the game and what I've been doing in Hawken. Let's get into this.
Big news of the week.
Brought to you by Doghouse Systems at doghousesystems.com. The best gaming PCs this side of the Mississippi, actually really pretty much beyond, and all around the world. If you're in the UK, you can get one of their boxes as well. I love my Doghouse in ways that are probably unnatural, and in some cultures would have me arrested. Maybe not, but I love mine, and it plays everything great, including games like Hawken. Go check them out, doghousesystems.com. We still got that code in effect, the code Henry, Henry, the name of my World of Warcraft pet. That'll save you some money because you'll get double the memory using that code. And they have some big stuff coming out in the next couple of weeks that are going to blow people's minds, and I can't wait till we can talk about it. Real quick, I got to thinking, before we get into the news here, about something specific to WoW, or specific to Blizzard, that I thought would be a pretty cool thing that I don't think we're ever going to see. But Hearthstone has proven that they can do turn-based strategy really well. Because that's really, if you boil it down, that is what a TCG is. It's a turn-based strategy game, and there's stats involved, and there's positional stuff, and it's got all the hallmarks of turn-based strategy games. Blizzard's more well-known for real-time strategy in the form of Warcraft and StarCraft and so on, and then RPGs, of course. I was playing, because I got it for like $7 on Steam, Heroes of Might and Magic 7, is it? Or 6? I forget where they're at. Maybe it's 6. And I'd forgotten kind of how much I really like that kind of game, this sort of isometric three-quarter view thing where you're traveling around in an overworld and then entering a dungeon, and then when you go to attack a thing, the battle it brings you into is a grid, or hexagon grid, where, you're making moves. Some guys can move so many spaces, and then they can do so many attacks. They can retaliate. They have special abilities. You have an army, basically, and like one unit might represent a stack of 20 of those units or something. And if you haven't played Heroes of Might and Magic before, anyone listening, then this may not make a ton of sense, but I love that kind of game. But I got to thinking, man, how badass would a Blizzard game in that style be? There's no way they're going to make one. They don't need to make one. But set it in the Warcraft, or set it in the Diablo, or even the StarCraft universe. Any other universes is fine. I would play that thing so hard and so long, it would be ridiculous how much I would.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I used to play so much Final Fantasy Tactics on my little Game Boy.
It's a great game.
Yeah, I love that thing. I think I played through the entire thing like 3 times or something like that.
Yeah,
because it was perfect. It was in my pocket, and pop it open, and just and like the battles are actually like, one thing is like the old like Final Fantasy battles would actually get a little tiresome after a while. Just so many like opening of a menu and then scrolling through it to decide the thing I want to do.
Right.
And Final Fantasy, so Tactics felt like less like that to me.
Yeah. It
felt like actually moving characters around on the board, I think, had something to do with that.
Yeah. It taps into like this primal sort of chess thing.
Yeah. Having like a certain amount of spaces I can go and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was a little more strategic, less just like grindy and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Blizzard were to tackle something like that, they would do that type of thing. They would do something really, really interesting and strategic while still being simple.
I would play the living hell out of that.
Yeah. Heroes of the Storm looks like it's going to be like, so I was watching some of the gameplay stuff the other day.
Yeah.
And like, if you play like Dota right now, it's just so complex.
Yeah.
That it kind of sucks. Like, it's really cool, but it's just like, oh man, I got to learn so many weird little ins and outs before I can actually play against people.
Yeah.
And feel okay. And I'm already seeing that in Heroes of the Storm, it's like you can just jump in and go.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be complexity, and that's what Blizzard is really, really good at, is just jump in and go and add that little bit in.
Well, Hearthstone has that, of course.
Yeah. Well, right now it's Hearthstone Heroes of Rush Your Face Down. It's like nobody's playing anything but rush decks right now. It's really annoying.
That's frustrating. Why do you think that is? What is the deal
there? Because they all figured out that it works well, and the games end early, and it's until it doesn't work so well, it's just the way it's going to be.
I wonder what Blizzard will do to respond to that, because they don't want a rush game.
I think they want it to be that way. I think they want rush to be a possibility, like one of the possibilities. The problem is right now it's so strong that you see like Hunter Rush, Warlock Rush, Paladin Rush, Warrior Rush, Druid Rush is now the new thing. You see all of these decks have these beatdown styles, and like I'm at like rank 2 or something, and I can't sustain any sort of like winning streak, because if the rush deck gets the right draw, it doesn't matter what you do; they just kill you.
Yeah. So they're just playing a game of roulette anyway. Every game they get into.
Basically, keep queuing up. Keep queuing up. Eventually, you'll get there. As long as you can win a little more than you lose.
I don't like that.
It's not that fun, honestly. Yeah, that's the problem, is that it's less fun when I queue up and it's the exact same deck I just saw, and it's just okay. Well, is he going to draw exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 this time, or is he not? Because if he doesn't, I'm going to win. If he does, I'm going to lose.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that they're hard at work on figuring out how to deal with that without a complete nerf job.
They'll have an elegant solution to this. I think. I trust in the Hearthstone team. Team 5, they got this.
What they need is a team 6 or 7 who can build my fantasy game.
Yeah, they can build Scott's fantasy game.
Oh,
Go on, Blue.
I would play that so hard.
Team 6. Well, we don't know. There might be Team 6.
Or you know what? I got another one for you.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. There really is news. I just got to get this out of my system.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about World of Warcraft at some point.
Yeah, and this is still Warcraft related. I would.
Hold on. I got to find out what's going on with the Beebs and the McCulkins.
Oh, can you check that out? I know Bieber's moving to Atlanta, and McCulkin or McCulkin.
McCulkin. Well, that's
Just call him that for short. Great.
This is new. That's his new. Because I mean, when we talk about him as much as we do, we got to shorten it. I don't have time to say all that.
Yeah, of course.
Get to the subject. Damn it.
All right, fine. So what was my point? My point was that so I would pay good money. I'd pay $19.99 for this on mobile, and that seems like out of the price range of most mobile games. But if you made me a game I could play on my phone or iPad that was it's based in the World of Warcraft universe, it's based in WoW. It's the characters we know, it's the world we love, and all this.
Sure.
But I want an old school dungeon crawly, grid based RPG. And games like this would be, what's that one called? Let me look it up. Gear. Oh, shite. It's on Steam. It took everybody by storm for a little while. I don't know if anyone's playing it still. You could mod it. Anyway, you literally are moving like a step at a time, and it's turn based. So, all right, how do I explain this? Grimlock. Is it Grimlock? Hold on. Legends. Recent. Here we go. Legend of Grimrock. Sorry. Legends of Grimrock. Okay. It's also like that new Might and Magic 10 or Might and Magic X. And it's this old PC style thing where you're pulling off moves. You got like a party of 4. So in front you got your tanky characters behind
the old
that.
Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yes,
too.
basically yes.
Exactly like that.
Do that thing in a cool visual style. Put that on mobile. Set it in the WoW universe. I am playing that till 4 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, I love those games. I'm always looking for a game like that on my iPad.
Yeah.
Really good.
I am too. I'm always looking, and guess what? There aren't very many really good ones.
Every time I find one, it's like there's just not enough. It's not enough to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's missing that one thing that used to make those games the kind of games that I would just play the crap out of for hours. And hours.
I mean, speaking of Might and Magic Heroes, there was a game, a series that those were kind of based on called King's Bounty, and they've been around forever. These King's Bounty games are really, really good, the PC games. And now I find out, there's a new King's Bounty game coming to the iPad, iPhone, Android, and a PC. And I'm like, that's exciting. And it's free to play. Cool. Probably got some microtransactions, but that's still cool. I'll play that. Fire that thing up. It's good. It's okay, but it's nothing like the other game. Like they're more proper PC games. So I feel like in a way I'm throwing a rose at the feet of Blizzard, saying, please do what you do in mobile.
Yeah.
So that we can have that depth, that quality, and all that. I know we're getting that with Hearthstone, but I hope they branch out and do other stuff. I really do.
Well, I mean, it seems to me that the success of Hearthstone will allow that to happen, because it's kind of proven like they don't need to rely on these big three. They've got they've got what it takes to make other games and other styles,
and they're self-sustaining financially enough that they can experiment and screw around a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, they can throw a team out there. They can scrap entire games.
Right, throw it away. Yeah, Titan.
Never mind.
Warcraft Adventures. What was the other one? StarCraft Ghost. Let's just throw that in the toilet. 5 years in the works, and then just poop it away. They'll do that.
Yeah.
In a way, that's good for this new Brave space, right? Where they don't really have a foothold yet. So anyway, I'm curious to see what they do. All right, moving on to the actual news here. And this was actually news last week, but we're still going to talk about it. In fact, it's kind of nice to have had all the fallout between then and now, so we can kind of get a better picture of how the fans have reacted. But you can and will be able to pay $60 for a boost to level 90. My prediction came true, although my price was wrong.
Well, I predicted the highest of all of us, and I predicted like 30.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Are you shocked by the price? And if so, well, tell me where you're at. How do you feel about $60?
Well, so it was weird how this was discovered too. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
like it just showed up on accident.
Data mined out of the.
They had to turn it off.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like data mined. It just showed up.
Right.
Like if you click the store, it just was there.
Yeah.
But okay. So some people are like outraged by this, and I think for the exact same reasons that I said on that show when we discussed that price point, because I think like Terpster was saying, oh, like it'll be like $20 or whatever, like transferring a server. I was like, the time it takes to level a character from 1 to 85 is so much longer than anything you could really sell. That they have to put the price point higher, and I think that they actually did the right thing here by making it. A really, big boost or a big price for a big boost because otherwise it'll just get abused. Like no one's business.
Oh, left and right. I think that is kind of their stance on it. I heard a couple of people say, so the opinions have been pretty wildly different. One of them was, one consensus seemed to be, well, this is too much. I just want to play endgame, but I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pay that because that's too high. And then there's another group of people saying, I don't think people should be able to buy their way through the levels. It should be higher because now they're going to miss out on all this content they built. And Blizzard's answer to this, and they said this in a recent interview in the last week, said if Blizzard wanted to sell as many boosts as possible, they would have not priced it so high. They even admit that it's high. It's high on purpose because what this does is it keeps everybody from just leaping there. For those who still enjoy leveling, they don't have to do anything. Just do what you want to do.
Well, there's also the thing of if it's like selling characters. Like if you just buy a character.
Yeah.
You don't know how to play your character.
Right.
So if we just allow everybody to just have, for a couple $100, you can have all the characters all leveled up to 90, right? You can just have every single type of character leveled up for a few $100.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, so now we're flooding the new expansion zones with tons of people who have no idea how to do anything.
Right.
And then when they start queuing up for stuff, everyone's frustrated. It should be something where it's like a big commitment. Like, okay, I want this class, this race to be level 90. I'm going to play it. And then they want it to be a thing where you actually make a decision and then stick to it.
Yeah.
You spent $60 on this guy.
That's right.
So, and you get one free anyway, too. So, I mean, we're talking about extra. Like, this is luxury. This is to be able to do this at all is luxury.
Well, that's been the other opinion. Is some people are like, well, I've already got the one. I don't really care because I pretty much focus on a main and maybe another dude who's leveling professions or something, and I'm not worried about it otherwise. So for a lot of people, it makes no difference. Yet they still have a really strong opinion about how it makes no difference. I said on Twitter the other day, I said, guys, if Blizzard priced the boost too high for you, and their goal is to not devalue leveling, then it worked.
Yeah, exactly. It did what it was supposed to do.
Right.
Which is keep people who were like on the fence about it from doing it.
Yeah.
And make it only there for the people who really, really wanted this. Like really, really wanted to do multiple characters getting boosted.
Right. And they basically, the price they put on it is them saying, hey, look, we think it's at least worth this.
Yeah.
So if it's worth it to you to skip that, then here.
How many hours does it take to level from 1 to 90?
For me, it would take a lot.
It's like 40 to like 100 something.
Yeah, even with all the 30% reductions and all that, it's still
go straight through. You do nothing but just play straight through.
Yeah.
It can still take a really long time.
Yeah.
So if you want to break it down to buy the hour, like you're paying very little per hour.
Let's say you're getting $10 an hour at a job. Yeah. That's 4 hours or 6 hours, and you've paid your
6 hours. You've leveled the character to 90, which is not how long it would take you to do that.
No. Maybe they should give you that the options. Like I'll either pay out of it or I can do the whole thing in 6 hours. I don't know what that would be.
Like I could race the clock.
You'd be done by the time you got off Duratar, and you'd be like, yeah. I don't know. It's a really weird argument because I think there's a lot of just initial backlash, as there always is. But then as people have kind of simmered down a little bit and tried to actually discuss the topic, I don't know why there's a problem with any of it, other than anytime somebody sees a high price, they want to feel like they're being jilted.
Sure.
But if it's not a thing for a lot of people, it's just not a thing they want. Like people on Twitter are like, well, I'm not going to pay that. I'd rather level my characters. Exactly.
It's not even a thing that existed. You can't be gypped out of a thing that never even existed before.
Right. And you don't have to buy it.
Oh, we just invented this this new awesome piece of technology, and we're selling it for this price. And everyone goes, hey, what the hell? I'm not paying that. It's like, okay, cool. Well, you're not paying it then. Don't buy it. Like, that's basically it. It's just, it's not like they jacked the price up on something that was always here.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
We get accused on the show occasionally in its 7-year history of backing whatever policy Blizzard comes out with, and it's always their stance. And that's not true. If you go actually listen to the shows, it's not true. But
I've talked much crap about many things Blizzard has done.
Right. But once in a while, I just want rational minds to prevail. This isn't Blizzard sitting in a room at 2 p.m. with the last slice of pizza staring at everybody and wondering who's going to eat it, and somebody going, all right, we're just going to do $60. See you guys next week. It doesn't work like that. You have to really think about this stuff, and you have to adjust value based on current expectation for time spent, the current cost of video game-related services and things. It's a bigger deal. It's a huge decision. I don't think they come to this stuff lightly, and I don't think that's them sitting around, let's see how many people get suckered into spending $60. They're actually trying to make it high enough to diminish the number of people do it, which is typically not a profit-generating idea. Normally, you want to maximize it. So maximizing it would have been $19.99 or $25 or less. But that's not their goal here. Their goal here is to say, if all of that time spent leveling is more valuable to just buy the character and go straight to endgame, here's your option. If you would rather go back and level your character, then this doesn't affect you at all. Best of luck to you. And I think that this is the right number. And it's the right number for 2014. It may not have been 6 years ago. Maybe that price was $49. I don't know. These things have inflationary stuff too, you know?
It's still cheaper than buying like a second account and buying Warlords of Draenor again and all that too.
Yeah, so, a lot of people have been talking about that too.
Because that's the other option is buy another, just have another account.
Yeah.
Another package of WAD.
Yeah.
So
another
go with WAD.
Another that means another authentication, another account to log into. Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah,
you're not going to do that.
Multi-boxer or something. But
look, and I am sympathetic to the idea that, you know, gamers. We live in a time now. Forgetting this, just looking at the general landscape of games and casual and free to play and everything, where everybody is trying to figure out how to make the money in a world where a game sometimes is absolutely free, and then they've got to figure out how to get money from you after the fact. So I get that we live in that environment, and that anything that comes out that seems to cost more money than you'd hoped is a knee-jerk reaction of, here we go again, the video game industry's trying to screw everybody out of their pocket change. Yeah. I don't think this is one of those. This is them saying, we know people want this jump, but we can't make it that easy. We can't make it that cheap, and we can't devalue the content we've made, so what do? We compromise, and we find a price that seems right. I think that's all this is.
Yeah, this isn't a cash grab at all. The cash grab, would have been like $10. Like then it would have been just like, boom, just give us money.
How do you think they'll do? I mean, how do you think it'll do? Do you think, because sometimes their expectation maybe 60 is a good barrier, but what if they're wrong and tons of people buy it and it's way overwhelmingly?
Well, not tons of people won't buy it. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a very specific portion of the WoW player base purchasing these things. I think most people are going to be fine with their one boost. And like me personally, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way because I don't mind leveling. I enjoy it. Yeah, I like going and playing my level 60 dude and queuing up and all that stuff. It's fine. It's actually enjoyable to me. So, you know. Yeah. But I think there's plenty of people out there who are just going to say, hey, I want a third dude. I got my main, then I got my one boosted guy up to 100. Now I want to get the last, one more guy up, and they'll do it, and that's and that'll be enough. That'll be enough for, like, those will be a specific subset, I think, that are going to be experienced enough players, too, that we're not going to see the thing that we don't want, which is a whole bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing and have never playing their character at the end game,
Do you see this as an ongoing, I think the answer to this is obvious, but do you see this as an ongoing thing? So when new expansion comes out, the Emerald Dream or whatever's next,
Sure.
Comes out, they'll just bump it up 10 more levels, and
once it's here, it's here. I think it's not going away now.
Permanent feature. Yeah, I agree.
Part of the deal. Yeah.
I agree. Well, it'll be interesting to watch because people are all over the map on it, and I'm anxious to actually, get in there, get my free one, see how that felt, and then decide what I think about it. Because there may be a time down the road where I'm like, end of that expansion, going, ooh, I'd really like a warlock right now. And then maybe that's what I do. I don't know, because some
It could happen, but you know
time
what?
heals wounds when you've spent
Now
money.
the option is there, and the option wasn't there before. So
Right, exactly.
If that itch, happens, and you really need to scratch it, and you don't want to level them up on your own, you can do something about it now.
Yeah, exactly. And if you already like leveling and don't care about all this, you're fine. They're not removing levels.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good. I don't care. I'm good either way.
Yeah, you're set. Also, last week, the Orc Female was revealed, the new version of her model. And the Dwarf Lady's now up in the 3D viewer.
out.
She is buffed out, dude.
Yeah.
The biggest complaint, and this is what, that's what I don't understand about people, but for some reason, their biggest complaint is her cornrows.
Really?
Her kind of lightly carved into the side of her head cornrow kind of hair thing, and the bald, the bald all the way through. If that part of her hair is lifted up, she's got cornrows, and people have all these problems with it. I don't understand why. Is it because it's kind of culturally sort of smack talky and throw downy, and white men can't jumpy?
I don't know. So they don't really look like cornrows. They just look like head dents. I don't know. Like
yeah, Dills has a problem. He wants to lodge a complaint. We don't like the head dents.
Yeah, the head dents need to go. No, but I mean, if you've ever, I don't know, when I shave my head, I don't have a perfectly smooth head.
No.
I've got some weird stuff in there. A lot of people do. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah. Have you ever shaved your head completely?
Gotta be so, so anti.
Have you done that? Have you shaved your head completely before?
Oh yeah.
I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah.
You should do it right now.
Okay. If I do, you can guarantee
right now before the kids get home.
It'll be on YouTube or something if I do it. But yeah, I don't have
Maybe
a problem
we should
with
make
that.
a bet.
But I can just say with some authority here that I believe that it is. I mean, I've said on the show years ago, the only character, even more than gnomes, that I have no desire to make is a female orc, because I think the old orc female was just nasty, just not fun to look at. I don't mean not attractive. I just mean I don't know, something just kind of gross about her. Yeah. And this is she's a hottie in this, man. She's buffed out. She's ready to roll. Let's go. Orc female.
She's looking good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way an orc female, I would imagine, would look, right? I mean, just kind of like, it's like Klingon females or something. I don't know. It's
a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's warriors,
like Ursa and Bator from Next Generation or wherever they were.
Yeah, like when they get married, there's a lot of knives involved, I'm sure.
That's right. They have two of everything too, right?
Yeah.
And they have four, or no? How's it work? Yeah, Klingons are the ones with 2 hearts, 2 livers. Yeah, they have redundant organs, two wieners. I don't know. That's true.
They all got 2 wieners.
2 wieners. Every orc, 2 wieners.
I just always, it always scared me whenever they would go into Worf's culture.
Yeah.
I would always just be like, oh no, man, someone's gonna get stabbed.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Anytime anybody said, oh, it's Worf, son of Moog, you're like, oh crap. They're gonna go to his home world. Somebody's gonna argue about something dumb. Someone's gonna get stabbed.
Yell a lot at each other. It's gonna be terrible.
How that
make me feel uncomfortable.
How that race survived the galaxy, I'll never understand. Anyway. Totally worth saying. And then the new dwarf lady is also part of the 3D viewer on the Warlords of Draenor site. So they had up there previously the orc male, the dwarf male, and the male gnome, and you can spin them around and actually see their full polygonal look and feel. And they've added the dwarf female to that now, so you can go look at her if you feel so inclined. If
you like that sort of thing.
If you're into dwarf females, If you're into that.
That's a subset.
I am into the dwarf race as a whole. I think it's a great staple of fantasy books, film, and games. I think they're great, and I love that they're Scottish for some dumb reason all the time, and all that stuff is great. Got no problem with any of it.
Yeah, why are they Scottish?
I don't know. There's probably somebody's got some link somewhere that would tell us the grand history of why that stereotype persists. But,
dwarfs are basically always some sort of Scottish European something, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're rugged mountain people, I suppose.
I guess. Scottish people rugged mountain people.
I don't think so.
Don't they have cities and stuff there?
I think so. I think they don't live underground.
I think of them as that's what I think of Scott.
They don't have big carved out caves everywhere that they live in.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, some of them are like Braveheart though too. So. Yeah. Probably has something to do with it.
Anyway, that's going on. Also, they put up a dev water cooler. This was yesterday, I want to say. Maybe even, I think it was yesterday. Anyway, they're calling it Pruning the Garden of War. Development on World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor is progressing well, they say, and will soon be ready to enter the first phases of public testing. So that's a good sign for beta. To help prep you for battle, let's break down some of the upcoming changes we're making to stats, abilities, and crowd control for the expansion. They go into a lot of detail, too much to mention here, but it's definitely worth reading. It's on the official site, and you can kind of go through it. One thing I thought was interesting is their talk about the item squish and just kind of the resetting of numbers across the universe in the game. And this is what they said about that. In order to bring things down to a more understandable level, we'll be reducing the scale of stats throughout the game and smoothing those out over obsolete spikes, meaning raid encounters or world bosses that were in BC or something that were crazy spiky. Like, whoa, that doesn't really fit here, and that's why we needed 2 groups of 25 to take him down or whatever. So anyway, they go on to say, so the power scales linearly through questing content from 1 to 85. This applies to creatures, spells, abilities, consumables, gears, everything. And while that means your numbers for stats and damage are being reduced by a huge amount, the same goes for creatures' health, damage output. For example, the fireball that previously hit a creature for 450,000 out of his 3 million health, which is 15%, may now hit that same creature for 30,000 out of its 200,000 health, still a 15% of health. So it's just, it's explaining
just smaller
the squish.
Numbers, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think this
Which is
fine.
exactly what we all expected. I don't think anybody thought anything different was going to happen there.
No. But it is interesting that consumables, gear, abilities, all of it from 0 to 85 are all getting tweaked. Which that seems intense to me.
Yeah, they really kind of have to, though, because the leveling process itself wouldn't make a lot of sense if you suddenly got to 85 and then it was like, well, now you get squished, or 90 or whatever. Now they squish you. Like, it has to be linear. It has to work the entire way.
It's a lot of database searches and
finding a lot of stuff to do. I know. I was thinking about that the other day, that I don't think I've ever played a game that has this many items in it.
Right.
It's like so many items. Every single one does something. Every single one has some sort of weird purpose.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I have to look it up to find out what the hell this thing does.
What I would do?
One of those things has to get tweaked.
I would pay for a wallpaper, and I mean like a physical one I could hang on my wall that was nothing but every single icon. Yeah.
That would be insane.
Everything you could put in a bar or in your bag, just covering a wall. Kind of like, Apple does this with their app store when they hit like a big moment. It's like, all right, let's cover the wall in these tiny icons that represent every app we've ever done. That'd be pretty intense.
That would be insane. Actually, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I would go for that too.
Yeah,
it would be a huge poster, dude.
It would be giant, right? I could put
that would be ridiculous. That would literally be wallpaper. Yeah.
Oh, I would love it. I would think that would be really cool. But anyway, the point is, it's everything. So that little piece of boar meat that was edible in, I don't know, Hellfire Peninsula, that's gonna have some reduction, just like everything else.
So when you cook it up, they're gonna have to figure out how to level out the amount of buff it gives and all that stuff. Some of this I think that can be done with just kind of like an algorithm or something. They can just kind of run through all these things. Mm-hmm. But it is going to take somebody like going through and checking each one.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure it's fine.
And expect bugs, expect mistakes, expect problems, because this is too big to not screw
Someone will figure out that something didn't quite get nerfed as much as the other thing, and then it'll be like the exploit when you're leveling up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Then we're all screwed. All right, couple quick small things. I noticed Hearthstone has some new card backs coming. They look pretty rad.
Yeah, they do.
What do you think about that? It's just a cosmetic thing, but that looks all right.
Yeah, they're cool. We knew this was coming eventually, but basically, like for each season, depending on how high you get, you'll earn certain stuff. So these card backs is stuff you'll earn throughout the seasons. It's still not quite clear how that all works, but we'll know soon enough, I think.
They're pretty though.
Yeah.
They're up on
they're cool.
Hearthstone has some great shots.
So I think there's like some different levels of participation. So like if you reach legend in a season, you'll get one. If you reach, or if you just play, you'll get one. If you get like some certain rank, you'll get one. Like it's just that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool stuff though. It's anything that they can do to like kind of add to what they can give us for our play time is just welcome.
You're fine with that. So am I.
Reward us more, please.
Give us more, not less.
Yeah.
Exit something.
So right now play mode is all the rage because you can rank up, but there's nothing to be gained from it. So it's still a little weird. Whereas like arena, arena, you feel like you get instant rewards. Like you open packs and you get these boxes to open at the very end of each run. So They need to make ranked feel that way, like feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, if you will.
Oak Dragon says, quote, that card's got a purty back. Yeah, that sounds about right, buddy. A small tidbit just to kind of finish out the news here. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was a comment about subraces in World of Warcraft. Again, one of these European interviews. This was for videogamezone.de, a German website, and part of this European tour. And somebody had asked him about the brown-skinned orcs and whether or not we'd ever get to make sort of a choice, because that's a pretty fundamental story choice there. Not just a, hey, it'd be cool if he was brown. Doesn't really work that way, but there's more to it than that. And they said no brown skin orcs for players is planned right now, but the team has heard all the players' interest in subraces, according to this dev interview. So I'm not going to read too much into that, except to say orcs certainly aren't the only example of this, but there could be an opportunity in the future to say, all right, well, somehow it works story-wise that the brown orcs are now here, and guys can choose that when they're picking an orc. Or, you know, the Zandalari versus the whatever other, you know, whatever troll combination tribe, whatever. Like, all of these things are possibilities in my mind. I think that would be pretty neat in terms of choices. It'd be more important to me that I could choose it now in a hairstyle place than it would for me to start a new dude. Which goes back to the whole, that, you know, is that even worth leveling or even paying $60 just so you can be a brown orc? Probably not.
No. Not really.
So
not
I don't know.
to me anyway.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. Nice.
But I like the idea of having these like kind of different versions of like something that's like kind of wildly different than the rest of the stuff. I like it.
Yeah. So
I hope it doesn't go away. Yeah.
Zach had Utah was unaware of these new card backs. Man, you are behind the times, buddy. Get in there. Get in there now. Oh, World of Tweets. World of Tweets. A couple of tweets here that were interesting over the last week or so, and one of them started like this, not to be rude, but if you know AV has problems, Alterac Valley, why has nothing been done in 8+ years? And their simple answer was, AV has gone through a lot of changes in 8 years.
Yeah.
Has it really, though?
One has fixed it, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
All they've really done, they changed some stuff about the NPCs and things like that, but yeah, it's been bad for a long time. So yes,
the more honest answer is it hasn't been a priority, and I don't blame them necessarily for not having.
I understand why it's not, but it does suck to just blacklist it and never play it. You know, I never play it. There's just no point in playing it as a horde character right now. It's an auto loss every time. It's me spending like 20 minutes of my time to get much less total, like, you know, it's basically like the expected. The EV of honor for time spent in there is not nearly as much as it is in, like, you know, Warsong or anywhere else. So yeah. I just blacklist it and move on, and that sucks. I would like to play it again. It would be fun.
Yep.
I miss Alterac Valley.
I do too. It was fun in the day.
Yeah, Arathi Basin is actually still my favorite one of all. It's still
good, yeah, still good.
But,
and that game, and those never seem to end in anyone's favor in a consistent way. It seemed to always just be how smart is your team and how well did you play.
Yeah. I mean, the geography of that, the only thing that really matters is how close your gate is to, like, the stables and stuff. Like, that's really where it matters. But the problem with AV is that they've got this actual huge geography problem where Alliance has this bridge we have to cross, and the Horde has this, like, fence. And then you run up a little path, and it's not the same. It's not a blockade in the same way.
All right.
So, like, the choke points aren't quite as bad, and it's just, plus there's like exploits. You can hop over the fence in a certain spot. It's just bad.
Zach had Utah says to me, har Scott, TAC fans knew the reference. So apparently there's some reference to cards having card backs, and I don't know what it is. I don't play Magic.
Must have happened when I wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't get that stuff. So yeah, whatever. Magic the Gathering.
Oh, he says card backs. WTF? How old is this? Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Oh, you get it now? I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's because of our tournament. We streamed that tournament, Attack Invitational,
right?
And when we streamed it, you know, there had been like a patch since then, and like 5 meta shifts and stuff. So like people kept coming into Twitch and just being like, "What the hell? That's like, what's the old novice engineer doing here?" You're just like getting really angry. So then I just started trolling the trolls after a while.
That dude's in your stream all the time. Looks like. Yeah. You probably recognize him.
Good man. That's a good man.
Let's see. Next one up. Will the... Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. He's coming this year, as far as I know. Well, he's in Utah. Should be coming.
Yeah, should.
Will the new character models change Tauren male dual-wielding graphics to stop the left hand from slanting to the left? And Dave Maldo answered, yes, the latest in-progress version has the weapon turned around completely and clipping into your crotch.
Thank God they fixed this. No, I mean, I don't... Man. People, remember BlizzCon, the chairs? The chairs are all turned.
All turned. Remember that?
Yeah, the chairs have been turned.
That was in our show, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in. It's
crazy to me how people find like the smallest things and just are like they notice them. I don't know. I never noticed.
I remember Greg Street was just like, "What the crap are you talking about?"
Yeah, but you know, it's okay, cool.
It's the little things, dude. It's the little things.
Yeah, no, the little things matter, absolutely.
Let's see. Final one says, you have to talk to us, guys. You can't just ignore us. We are fans and customers. 12 months of SOO, yes or no? Meaning, when's the expansion?
Wow, this is a poet.
Yeah, really good. They wrote back, we're not ignoring you. We're just not ready to announce a release date yet, says Celestalon. I'm noting a tone in Celestalon's voice over the last few months since he kind of took over the reins of main kind of Twitter man. That he is starting to get...
It's getting annoying?
A little. It would be to me. I would be annoyed. Some of these questions are just like, you know,
when they wrap the question up with, like, you could have just said, like, so 12 months of Siege of Orgrimmar? Is that going to happen, or are we going to get stuff sooner?
Yeah, instead of we are fans and customers. Yeah, you
have to wrap it into a package of, well, you're ignoring us right now. Like, there's no need to do that. You have a question, ask a question.
I don't understand.
Why do you have to wrap it in a troll voice? Like, it just doesn't need to be done.
12 months of SOO question mark. That's it.
Stick to the damn subject. Ask the damn question.
Yeah. Whoop, wrong one. Sorry. Here.
Hey, Scott,
oh, that's a phone call. No, don't play that, Scott. What are you doing? Jeez, I meant
close.
This guy.
Stick to the subject. Damn it.
All right, that's the guy. That's it for those. Let's launch into this.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
It is the town crier, and that's a chance for us to check out emails and calls, and brought to you by the Frog Pants University t-shirt, available now at tiny.cc/frogu. That's frog and the letter U. That's the Frog Pants University t-shirts. They're way cool, and you can pick them up now, and they'll ship right to you, and they're super rad. And I can't wait for mine to get here. So look for that if you are a fan. All right. You can call us anytime, 206-202-3969. That's 206-202-3WOW. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. Keep them short and interesting. Or you can send your MP3 attachments to theinstance@gmail.com, along with any other emails you so desire. Let's jump into a specs idea in Warlords of Draenor.
Hey, Scott, Dales, and Terpster. I'm a Resto Druid with a Piece of Toast Guild on Daenerys, and my question is about viewing gear in Warlords of Draenor. With the new gear system in place that gives your gear the appropriate stats for your spec, will there be an easy way to see what the stats look like for each spec at one time? For example, can I see what the stats will be on a leather helm for Balance, Guardian, and Feral spec when I'm currently in my Resto spec? Additionally, how will we be able to toggle the view between PvP and PvE? This could get pretty crazy for druids with so many specs. Thanks, love the show.
I know what they're going to do. They're going to let someone make a really good mod to do both those things.
It's gonna be in like Outfitter, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like what it'll probably be is you're gonna actually have to swap into that thing to see it in that version.
Yeah. Initially, yes.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's exactly how it's gonna work. But yeah, I think Outfitter will just allow you to hover over it, and I mean they also might do like you hover over and you hold the shift bar down and you can see like the other stuff you're wearing or whatever, you can kind of see compared.
Right.
You might be able to do something like that where you can like hold shift down and then see other versions of it. I don't know. We'll see.
Sure. Right now you can
I don't think that's even been announced at all how they're going to do this, how they're going to handle that.
They haven't talked about it, no. It's a challenge, though, if you think about it, because it is a big deal, especially for people who are paying attention to that kind of stuff. You're going to want to know. And
I just assumed I was going to swap specs real quick, and then I'll know.
And that's how you'd know, right?
Yeah. I mean, what information do I really need to know before I swap my spec, right? Like,
well, we know what the gears. We know the gear is suited either way, right?
I think it's going to be fairly obvious, like what's an upgrade and what's not. You know, because it's just an upgrade is going to be higher level. I don't know. it's a whole new world, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be strange.
It's gonna be really weird.
It's gonna be really strange.
That stuff seems real simple when they mention it at BlizzCon and you see it on paper. You don't really think much about it, but there's some complication there for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be very strange. We'll see.
Here's a call about changing PvP forever.
All right, Scott, Dills, Surfster. I was catching up on your podcast from January while I was on the road, and came across your conversation about PvP and some of the changes you guys are looking for in WoD. I was wondering, what do you guys think about, instead of maybe creating a new PvP zone, would be to rather change the format of some of the existing zones, like with Warsong Gulch, instead of it always just being capture the flag, maybe Blizzard can change the parameters of the rules to something like straight up blood fight or resource cap or something else. Love the show.
So I played a bunch of the Killzone 2 and Killzone 3 games and a little bit of the new Killzone one that's, or Killzone whatever it's called, I forget, on the PS4. And they've always been famous for a pretty neat way of handling multiplayer, which is hop in and there's a map, and that map is constantly evolving the game type. So you go in and for 5 minutes it's team deathmatch, and it calls it something else, but it'll say, we got to kill those guys, get them on, kill them on sight or whatever, and then you go do your thing. And then when that's over, or when someone's reached the goal, or when the time runs out, it'll go, quick, we've got to get the information out of their computers or something, and now you got to go target a building and it's essentially steal the flag. And then it'll switch back to kind of a domination mode and then kind of rinse and repeat. And it's a pretty fun way of keeping things fresh, and you're still in the same maps and that sort of thing. So I think what he's talking about may be similar to that. I don't think they ever go, well, this used to be for 7 years, this was capture the flag. Now, from now on, it's going to be a domination map or something.
I think, yeah, if anything, they just create new ones at this point. That seems to be what Blizzard does, is just create a whole new BG. But I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of an alteration to some of the stuff that's already been going on. They could definitely mix and match some stuff. But it would be interesting if, you could go on to the specific maps and decide like what you wanted to do on that map. I think the thing that they're worried about, though, is they're worried about just basically like too many types of, like, too many different maps causes it to get a little watered down, and then it's harder to fill all those maps with players. If you think about like how long the queues are now, the more things you add will just increase the queue time. And like right now, queues are like 11 minutes or something for BGs.
Right.
Whereas if you do like arena, it's like instantaneous because it's easier to match people up. You don't have to worry so much about getting healers and DPS and all that stuff to match up, which is stuff they're doing now. So I think they're going to avoid watering things down, and this type of thing might do that. So I doubt we're going to see anything like that, but it's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
it's definitely interesting.
I think you're right. Blizzard's not going to change the way to do it, but it'd be interesting.
I would really like to see a deathmatch, though. I really do want to see that. I mean, that's basically what arena is, but just on a grander scale,
Yeah, that's what some battlegrounds just devolve into that anyway. Sometimes,
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Alterac Valley has definitely, towards the end, I've seen situations where it's basically that. Like both teams are at like 10 resources left or whatever, and it's every time someone dies, you lose one. So basically, it's just a big like all-out fight.
Yeah,
and those are always really fun because it got really intense at the end.
Yeah. Final call. We got one here from someone who wonders if WoW is really ever in need of saving, and he'll explain why.
Hey, Scott, Dills, and Terpster. This is Brian, a shaman on the Thrall US server. Just had a quick question. Reading online, you hear a lot about how WoW is dying, or is Warlords of Draenor really going to save WoW? And I was watching my uncle play EverQuest the other day, and it dawned on me. Are people always going to be playing WoW regardless? I mean, EverQuest has 20 expansions. What is there really to save with WoW? I mean, aren't people always going to be playing the game? Would really like your feedback. Keep up the good work. Love the show.
See, really, really good point. And this idea that a game is dying, or this is it, boy, this is the downfall for WoW or whatever, is a silly notion in a lot of ways because, like you mentioned, EverQuest 1 still has certainly enough people playing it to be a profitable game for Sony Online Interactive, and they have other Sony Online Entertainment, not Interactive. That would be SOI. It's SOE. It's true of a lot of games that now some have gone away, but they usually come and go quickly. It's not like Earth Above and Beyond lasted even a year, I don't think. Matrix Online lasted, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Even Star Wars Galaxy wasn't that long of a run. So they tend to be gone quicker than you'd think if it's a case like that. If it's a game where they've got 10 years behind them and they're still kicking A, and if they have a dip in numbers, that suddenly means they're dying. That's always been a weird notion to me. So, yeah, if EverQuest's still going strong all these years later, that came out, 97 or 98 or something?
You can still play Ultima, right? I mean,
yeah, Ultima Online still, those servers are still running.
You can play, these games don't really disappear. I mean,
I think Asheron's Call is still a game you can play.
Yeah, you stop playing that. Yeah, oftentimes when the game just straight up goes away because the company just decides to pull it for monetary reasons or whatever. But if you have a game that doesn't take too much, money to continue to keep up, then it's worth it to just keep it going.
I'm checking it right now.
I mean, how many of these have actually been pulled? Like Warhammer was pulled, like a few others. Like there's just not.
But again, in those cases, it's a short amount of time. Like they just they don't have the venerable background of an EverQuest or of a WoW or of even Ultima Online. And even this, I'm just looking at Asheron's Call. Sure enough, still running, man. They just had a huge monthly event in January.
There you go. Yeah,
and that the game is old as hell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then WoW is not even close to needing to be saved.
No.
It's still way above everybody else as far as subscribers, in an insane fashion. Sure, it used to be at 12 million, but now being at 8 million, that's not.
It's still 7 million more than anybody else. So
yeah, exactly. It's just I don't know, and it's not gonna happen. I'll probably have a WoW account for the rest of my life.
Yeah, probably.
I'll probably be an old man in a retirement home, and I'll just be like, let's just log into my hunter real quick and see,
And they'll say, Mr. Dills, Mr. Gregory, we don't have.
It'll be Mr. Dills.
That game ended 10 years ago.
Yeah, sorry, and I'll be like, no, damn it,
Hunter talk.
Back in my day, when the sky golem, you had to make it yourself.
Oh, that's good stuff. I don't know.
Back in my day, we said back in my day jokes on the instant.
But that is one of the most, that is a call I agree with 100%. There is no, people love seeing failure. There's a weird thing where people feel some weird sense of vindication and victory when somebody else fails. Sure. And this desire to see a giant like Blizzard fail is a thing. That's an actual thing, and I don't really understand where it comes from. People do it all the time with actors and actresses and people in high places and people with a lot of money or success. They cannot stand to see that go on for too long before they want to start hating, and then eventually they would just love to see it all crumble. I don't get it. I don't understand the mentality, but I know it's there. I have a psychiatrist friend and a psychology sister who both talked about this with me at length and sort of in private about this very issue, and they acknowledge that this is a part of human behavior that is a little hard to describe, but it exists, and I think that's what this boils down to. So play the games you want to play. That will determine the ultimate end or beginning of whatever. But all this yapping about that's a downfall. Not even WAD can save it. Who are you even talking to? What does that even mean?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing needs to be saved. It's all good.
I don't get it. All right, where the hell are we now?
The drop of the week.
This week's drop of the week is brought to you by GameTimeZone.com, where you can use the code WARCRAFT for 5% off. Is World of Warcraft a religion? One anthropologist thinks so. Check out this quote. This is insane. This is intense.
Okay.
It says, though I'd no longer define myself as a religious man, I remember the best times of my early teen years at church, struggling with grades, friends, and shoveling cow manure. The religious community was a sanctuary where I felt loved and accepted. Where did he go where they're doing cow poo? Anyway, whatever. Later, this sense of togetherness at church was replaced by a strong group of friends I developed in high school. Again, a voluntary coming together was involved. Like the Dead Poets Society or the He-Man Woman Haters Club, that's a thing, by the way. We celebrate our cohesion. This almost spiritual togetherness is exactly what the anthropologist has discovered in the testimonies of isolated World of Warcraft players. He believes, and this article sort of puts out there the idea, that WoW, like any other coming together of like-minded people who are working together for common goals, who kind of self-regulate the group and that sort of thing, are akin to essentially a religion. Now, it's missing theology and all of those things, and certainly there are people who are religious who are also playing World of Warcraft. So I think there's more. I think it's more complicated than simply you subscribe to a certain set of tenets and that's, there's church for you. It's an interesting idea that jump 2,000 years in the future, Dills, and they're digging through the rubble of World War III, and they find your skull laying next to a pretty well preserved set of DVDs that were installed that you used to install World of Warcraft.
Yeah, or this little guy right here. It's just me and this guy.
Yeah, right.
Just chilling. Yeah,
and they will
They're
say,
like, what is this?
They had
This
idols.
is his false idol.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm all in on that it's a religion.
Kerrigan keeps falling down. Yeah. I mean, I see what they're saying, but I don't think it's anywhere near that. There's definitely like somewhat of like the there's a cultish something to WoW a little bit. Like,
Sure.
I mean, you go to BlizzCon, you go to Nerdtacular.
Yeah.
We all feel a kinship with each other.
Sure.
But it doesn't come close to like. I mean, none of us are going to go. We're not going to go fight a war.
No.
Because we play World of Warcraft and somebody else plays, EVE Online.
Right.
Like that's just not going to happen. It's just never going to happen.
Good point. The world's the most oppressive moments in human history tend to have been sparked by some religious difference. I don't think those apply here. Although in EVE, dude, anything can freaking happen in that weird place.
I mean, I'm not going to knock on your door and ask you to join the Church of World of Warcraft. I mean, I'm not. It's just like there's a different level of this to religion.
Yeah.
That people dedicate their lives to it, and that it gives them a sense of well-being and whatever. And you can't quite make the same comparison. Although I definitely see the parallels. I don't think that we need to go that far.
I would call it closer to something. Religion has a lot of this, which even some atheists have mourned the fact that they don't have as much of this, and that is that kind of communal, we're all in this together kind of spirit that kind of pervades that sort of thing.
Atheists have that too with each other.
Well, sort of.
they love banding together and telling everybody else that they're wrong.
Right, which is, I don't know how fun that is. But my point is,
I like it.
My point is when you get together for BlizzCon or you're hanging out on a raid or whatever, that's probably more akin to something like a book club. Or my wife has this group of friends, about 7 of them, that always are going to Vegas together, or they'll go get dinner once in a while or see movies together. It's like their girls club thing. It's more like that. It's a place where you feel safe, everyone likes each other,
But it's the common human thing of like, we need to take the most intense thing we can find and then like compare everything to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anytime something is like that, the phrase of, oh, that's like this on crack. Like, we have to like take it and we have to make the most extreme thing we can think of and be like, it's like that,
but on crack.
But on crack. Like, it's like that crazy. We have to like take everything. We have to compare it to like the craziest thing we can think of. And this is just, it is what it is. It's like playing WoW is like being a fan of a sports team or something. I'd say more than like a religion, know. But even then, like people compare everything to like Apple fanboys. That's like a religion. Like being a fan of your football team is like a religion. It's like none of it's really like a religion. That's a totally different, separate thing.
It's a bit of
much more intense.
It's a generalization. From an anthropological point of view, perhaps there's more similarities, just scientifically speaking. But I think they're missing out on a huge philosophical aspect, and there's other things going on there that.
Yeah, no, there's a parallel, but there's not. It's not. You can't quite get in there. And I mean, it's someone trying to make a point, and I don't totally disagree with the point, but. Sometimes you just gotta like cool your jets a little bit, and let's just be realistic here.
Look at us getting all philosophical at the end of the show today. It's intense. This is really intense, you guys.
This is like a religion, dude. This is the instance.
What would Greg say?
Horde side.
That's not Greg. What would Greg say?
Horde side.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
that's what he'd say.
That's it. That's what
brought us back to 0. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the show. Thank you for listening and being here. Willie Dills on Twitter. Twitch is happening. TAC. Anything else you'd like folks to be aware of?
That's pretty much it. Also, Mediocre Golf Association season is just getting ready to begin again. So if you're interested in joining or starting a chapter, you got to kind of jump on that right now. We just had new chapters open up, at least 5 new ones that I know of, because we just created the trophy packs last night. So if you're a fan of mediocre golf, then or just a fan of golf, but you do it mediocrely, or horribly, or good, whatever. If you just like golf, like go check out mjtour.com. And then, yeah, check me out on Twitch. I've been doing a lot of Hearthstone training sessions lately, and they've been really fun and really successful, actually. Like, I think every single time I've helped somebody draft an arena or something, they've gotten like their new best record of all time or whatever, with the ensuing deck. So
great.
That's pretty cool. It's working out.
Good.
Yeah.
Willie Dills SF over there.
Yeah, so go to twitch.tv/WillieDillsSF if you want to find out more about that.
Great. Are you guys doing golf out here in July? Do you know? I know there's some talk.
So I got to talk to you about what the plan is for Nerdtacular, but I'm figuring out what my travel plans are.
Yeah.
I may come down for like a longer period of time.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
See.
Well, there's good golfing to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Out here. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you, everybody, for being here. By the way, if you want to see me stream Hawken matches, I've been doing that lately at twitch.tv/frogpants_Scott, or right here on the Frogpants stream page on frogpants.com. Either one will be that stream. This stream you're watching now, if you're watching live. Big thanks to everybody who's doing that. It's always good to have you guys here. Big thanks to Matthew Oxley for our theme. We freaking love it. Leave a review on iTunes and other podcast directories. We also like that a lot. Big thanks to our friend and intern Paul Swickard, who does a great job with the notes and stuff. We got some cool stuff coming up with him soon. So keep your eye out for that. Forums, show notes, archives, and more at theinstance.net. A reminder, Nerdtacular tickets are selling at nerdtacular.com. Do check those out. On Twitter, you can find the show at Instant Show, me at Scott Johnson, Dills at Willie Dills, and Terpster at _T. We hope he's feeling better on Facebook/The Instance, and more great shows just like this at frogpants.com. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Dills, and for the ailing Terpster. We'll see you next time.
For the Hordes.
I like the tail end cough. That was good.
Yeah. I tried to hold it in, but I couldn't do it.
I could tell for a while there you kind of had one down there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, poor guy, dude. That sucks.
I had to keep muting my mic and stuff, but I don't have like a true cough button. So,
well, I'm sorry about that. That sucks.
Yeah, it's just, it's annoying, but I think if I just take this weekend and just relax throughout the entire weekend,
then you'll be fine, right?
Try to keep the talking to a minimum if I can, which means I probably won't be streaming again, which sucks because everyone keeps asking me to do it. But yeah,
people like you streaming.
Take it easy. You take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. We'll do that. And good show today.
Yeah. Oh, do you have time off air to talk for just a moment?
Let's do that.
I just want to get Nerdtacular stuff.
Yeah, let me hang up on everybody. So hang on, hold on.
Goodbye, everybody.